Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about some popular language learning myths and explain why they aren't true by sharing my personal language learning story. Number 1. Learning a foreign language requires a special talent. So, as you know, I speak 5 languages, and lots of new people I meet think that I have this special talent or gift for language learning. And of course, that's not true because a special talent or gift doesn't exist. Since any child can learn any language anywhere, it means that all people have this language learning ability, and that's what makes us human. So you don't need a special talent to learn a language. So why can't some adults succeed in language learning? The answer is simple. It's practice and approach. So you either don't have enough practice or your approach or method is wrong and ineffective. For example, when I first started learning English, which was my first foreign language, I tried many different methods and approaches that didn't work for me. And when I say they didn't work, I mean I didn't learn almost anything. And I failed a lot before I found what really works for me. So it's your task to try out different methods, approaches, types of exercises and activities and choose what works best for you. So in my opinion, the real key is not some talent or gift. It's your motivation, clear goals, lots of practice, which means hard work, and also an appropriate approach. Number 2. It's impossible to learn a foreign language after my 16th birthday. Children learn languages better than adults. Have you heard that? It comes from this critical period hypothesis, which in short means that children are better at learning languages because their brains are more elastic. But this theory has been questioned a lot, and experimental research has shown that teenagers and adults can learn languages faster and better than children under controlled conditions. But pronunciation is one area where the younger is better theory may be true. There is some research that has found that the earlier a learner begins learning a foreign language, the more native-like accent he or she develops. And it's because young children don't have this pre-existing pronunciation patterns or habits that can interfere with a new language. I think it might be true, and it's easier for children to learn and acquire this native-like accent. But I personally know a few people who started learning a foreign language when they were adults, and they developed this native-like pronunciation. As for me, I started learning English when I was in my 20s, and I don't think I'll be able to acquire this native-like pronunciation, but it's not that important. I mean, if your goal is not this native-like accent, but the ability to communicate with people and have these different opportunities and experiences, then you can start learning a foreign language and you don't have to worry about having a native-like accent. And finally, number 3. The best way to learn a foreign language is to live in a country where it's spoken. Lots of people think that being in a foreign country where their target language is spoken will automatically mean that they will learn this language and will be able to speak it fluently. But I don't think that's the case. There are many immigrants in different countries who have lived in a particular country for like, I don't know, 10, 20 years, and they don't speak the language fluently. The reason is that despite their mistakes in grammar and maybe bad pronunciation, people can still understand them, so they don't need to be able to speak the language fluently. So being in a foreign country only forces you to learn what's necessary to survive and be able to function in the country. So it's normally some everyday language and the ability to communicate with people. Anyway, the problem appears when you communicate and socialize only with people who speak your native language and you consume all your media in your native language too. But instead you should create these opportunities for immersion. You have to make new friends who speak your target language. You have to read in your target language. You have to listen to, to music, to the news in your target language. And also you have to use the target language when communicating with your friends or some colleagues and so on. Let me share a part of my personal story. When I was 25 years old, I moved to Poland to study. And after 1 year in that country, I didn't just start speaking Polish fluently. So being in that country didn't really help me. The problem was that I made friends who spoke my native language. I didn't watch or listen to anything in Polish, and I didn't even try to communicate with people in Polish. If I couldn't use my native language, I just used English, so it wasn't really necessary for me to learn Polish. But then later I decided that I want to learn the language, so I took a short course to learn some basics, and then I just started practicing the language. So, I tried to speak it as often as possible, and I started watching some TV shows, reading books, listening to music, and it helped a lot. So, in short, being in the country doesn't mean that you will automatically speak the language, but it gives you a lot of opportunities to learn the language and to practice every day. So anyway, it's your job to find these opportunities to learn a language and become fluent. Anyway, if you are interested in my language learning experience and want to hear me speak in different languages, then let me know and I'll record a video and I'll explain why I learned them and how I learned them, and probably I'll give you some useful tips. Anyway, now over to you guys. Have you heard any other language learning myths? If yes, leave them in the comments below and let's discuss if they are true or not. If you like this video, then give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. And I see you next Tuesday. Bye!